What's going on, y'all, and welcome back to the channel. I hope everybody is doing well on this Monday morning. So let's go ahead and get into this video. And the first thing I want to start off talking about is the fact that it seems as though that Bill and Hillary Clinton are on the brink of a $90 million divorce. So according to RadarOnline.com, they've obtained some exclusive information that suggests that Hillary is trying to separate herself from Bill because of his ties to Epstein. So what I want to do right now is read a little bit from the publication to give you guys a better insight to what is allegedly going on. And so it says here, according to insiders, the former Secretary of State is said to be shaken over Bill's relationship with Epstein. She's considering giving up her husband to save her own skin and going through with a $90 million divorce. Hillary knows that once the House Oversight Committee and the Doge investigators get going and the FBI releases additional Epstein files, she is going to be humiliated, Leon Wagner, a presidential historian, predicted. He continued, she's prepared to protect herself and her legacy, even if it means turning over damaging information about Bill's involvement with Epstein. Bill's history with the Val S. creep is well documented, as he previously faced scrutiny for having flown Epstein's private jet, often referred to as the Lolita Express. Alright, so in my personal opinion, I feel like they weaponized the threat of releasing the Epstein files just to cause chaos and confusion. It's just another way to keep people focused on something that really isn't going to do anything as it pertains to the state of the country and so forth and so on. Because listen, I'm not turning a blind eye to individuals that were essayed and AR'd. I would never do that. That's not in my moral compass. But what I am saying, when you look at it politically on both sides, just not one side. But honestly speaking, all you get when it comes down to this Epstein case and abroad is a bunch of retractions, redactions, and distractions. That's all you get. And according to the publication I just read you all, it sounds as though that Hillary Clinton has some inside information as it pertains to her husband and his involvement with Epstein. So if she's been sitting on all of this information for quite some time, doesn't that make her complicit in all of this? And so in my honest estimation, you're just as guilty. Man, you don't need to run now. You might as well just ride it out with your husband. You've been known about this, allegedly. You know what I'm saying? So if Bill and Hillary gets divorced, I'll believe it when I see it, just like the Epstein files. If they come out, I'll believe it when I see it. I think that when it comes to stuff like this, both sides of the aisle are guilty, and they're not going to snitch on one another to this magnitude because they understand the damage and the heightened level of severity that this could cause the US government as a collective whole. So, hey, don't hold your breath. But anyway, let's move along, and I want to talk about Janice Combs because she recently came out and she denied some things that were said in the Diddy documentary that was produced by 50 Cent and Alex Stapleton. And she's coming out saying, hey, some of these things are not true. So let's get into what Janice Combs said wasn't true as it pertains to the doc. So Janice says, I'm writing this statement to correct some of the lies presented in the Netflix Sean Combs The Reckoning, she wrote. These inaccuracies regarding my son Sean's upbringing and family life is intentionally done to mislead viewers and further harm our reputation. She went on specifically to cite an interview from the first episode of the series that explores a 1991 incident which 9 people were deleted during a stampede at a charity basketball game promoted by Sean at the City College of New York. In the interview, Sean's former friend and colleague Kirk Burroughs claimed that he saw the singer put paws on Janice that day, something which she denies. The allegation stated by Mr. Kirk Burroughs that my son SLA PPED me while we were conversing after the tragic City College events on December the 28th, 1991 are inaccurate and patently false, Janice said in her statement to Deadline. That was a very, very sad day for all of us. For him to use this tragedy and incorporate fake narratives to further his prior failed and current attempt to gain what was never his, Bad Boy Records, is wrong, outrageous, and past offensive. I'm requesting that these distortions, falsehoods, and misleading statements be publicly retracted, she said later in her statement. During the moment in question in the episode, Burroughs said, I saw Janice question Sean about his future. He's going into this music business thing. He just left school and now this extreme tragedy has occurred. She's like, did he make the right decision? I saw him put hands on her, call her a B, and put paws on her. Alright, so basically Janice is saying that Kirk Burroughs, who was the co-founder of Bad Boy Records in the 90s, is lying because he didn't get a piece of Bad Boy, and that's his gripe. So in other words, Janice is painting him as a former disgruntled employee that's coming up with these salacious and fictitious stories just to ruin the reputation of Diddy and her. And so basically it's funny that she denies this, but she hasn't denied the rumor that her own son used to watch her get her cheeks clapped in front of him when he was just a child. She hasn't come out and denied that.
Allegedly, bitch.
But I will say that Janice knows that she's partly the reason why Diddy turned out the way that he did, right? With all of the partying that she did in front of him, his upbringing and things of that nature, Diddy was living a fast life before he even became a teenager. Let's just be honest, because of his surroundings. But anyway, let's move along, because I want to talk about the fact that Benzino is clowning the fact that Gene Deal wasn't a part of the documentary that 50 Cent produced. And I'm not even going to cap here. Benzino was making some interesting points. I want you to check out this clip and I'll be back.
Yeah, yo, Gene Deal, man. Bro, you feel stupid as fuck. All that glazing you did for 50, just for him to leave you out the documentary that, you know, you was dying to be in. At some point, have your fun now, bro. And I ain't got no beef with you, bro. I really don't even know you. But when I watch a person that all he does is talk about the man that had hired him, and you might have real gripes with him, but man, you sure sat back and watched a lot. You surely wasn't saying nothing when the money was coming in either. All right? Now, whatever your reasons for now, at some point, that's just going to get old. How many more stories are we going to hear? I'm so glad this documentary is over and done with, because the next movie and documentary is going to be by Diddy. We going to see what he say about you. All that you talking, you was the main nigga on his payroll. All that places that you was with, we was one of his niggas on the payroll. You allowed a lot of that shit to happen without saying anything. Not that you should have, you know, because then I guess that would be snitching, but I just ain't really got too much respect for a man that just talks about another man. I hope you should be in a mansion by now, all these YouTube and all the money that you should have got. But honestly, you know what I'm saying? When I watched you glaze 50, when he was about the Stevie thing and just glaze him, and now you mad at him. See, what that's showing me is that people only give a fuck about themselves. As long as people are getting paid. Now, 50 would have paid you, which you probably thought he was going to come get you, but since he didn't come get you, now you on the internet talking about the doc and all that. Man, this shit is, you can't make this shit. I swear to God, I'm glad I'm my own boss. I don't give a fuck whether I have it or don't have it. You'll never, ever, ever hear me glazing the next man or talking about what somebody was doing for me. Me and Dave Mays don't talk. You think I'm going to get on the internet and talk a bunch of shit about Dave Mays, and we made millions? I'm not going to do that. That's sucker shit. You know what I'm saying? And we don't talk. We don't see eye to eye. But I'm never going to get on the internet and dog the next man that I was making money with, regardless if we ain't seeing eye to eye now. Check yourself.
All right, so we heard what Benzino had to say about the situation, and I will admit it's puzzling that Gene Deal wasn't a part of the documentary. He's been going around for years, putting us up on game as it pertains to Diddy and all of the evil things that he's done and the evil things that he's witnessed Diddy do. And it's just so crazy to me that he wasn't a part of it. Now, I don't know if there was an issue behind the scenes. I'm hearing some people saying that it was over money. And then I'm hearing that 50 had questions about Gene Deal's character because of some things that were done back in the days that obviously we don't know about. That's what I'm hearing from my side of things. But I don't know that to be factual and things like that. But clearly, I feel that Gene Deal should have been part of this documentary, right? But anyway, I'm gonna draw the line here. I want you guys to feel free to drop down in the comments and let me know what you think about everything I discussed. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and if you're new here, go ahead and sub to the channel. I'll get with you guys later. Peace.